A beautiful warm welcome to every single one of you that has tuned onto our YouTube channel, Astute Strategists. My name is Olivia Nakalembe and allow me to be your host for the day. We are right here in the offices of Astute Strategists, basically our studio for the day, and we're going to be having an interesting topic or subject about social enterprises. Now, to just build a little flesh on this bone, Uganda alone has over 27,000 social enterprises. And this particular sector employs about 62,000 Ugandans. It definitely makes, a better percentage of the labor market. However, many people are trapped in social enterprises because they do not know what these are, how they operate, and in case one has geared their business to make profit, many of them have actually not realized their profit. Up until today, we also see many social enterprises dropping out even before their first or second birthday. So worry not, because guess what? In studio with me, I do have a renowned consultant working with Astute Strategists. And his name is Timothy Mugerwa. Many of you could have interacted with him in the civil society space, but he's now here with us to break the jinx. Mr. Mugerwa, Timothy, you're most welcome on today's episode, and introduce yourself to everyone watching us today.
Thank you, Olivier. My name is Mugerwa Timothy. I'm a consultant with Astute Strategists.
Okay.
Yes.
I do understand you have a background, in civil society, but you've also occupied interesting leadership positions, not only in East Africa, but on the continent as well. Could you, let us in on those developments?
Yes, like you said, I have over 10 years of experience in CSOs or NGOs. I'm a former president of the African Youth Union. Those who are hearing it for the first time, that's a Pan-African Continental Youth Body that coordinates youth activities on the continent, and it is found in South Africa, in Pretoria. I was a president, I think, 6 years back. Yes. I've also worked with the African Climate Related Project as the East African Regional Coordinator. Yes.
One of those belongs to a very important man.
Yes, the African Climate Related Project, the African branch of the Climate Related Project that was founded by former US Vice President Al Gore, and I was personally trained by him as a climate-related leader. So among the few Ugandans who has trained, and he continues to train people around the world. Yes.
We're definitely speaking to the right persons. I suggest that we have an exclusive conversation immediately after this particular interaction, because if you're interacting with the former Vice President of the US, I mean, who does not want to be, in your arms? Anyways, that aside, Mr. Mugerwa, we are talking about Astute Strategists, but
Yes.
you're dealing with a very, very delicate market, yet it employs a better half, at least, of the many Ugandans in social enterprises. We could say in East Africa or even on the African continent. But first things first,
Yes.
What is Astute Strategists? Define for us the word astute.
To start with, astute as a word, it means ability to accurately assess someone's situation. A person who is smart enough to assess your situation or an organization's situation and turn it to an advantage. That's the meaning of astute as a word. But Astute Strategists as a company, it is a social enterprise and NGO consultancy company that offers professional services to social entrepreneurs and NGO leaders. So you basically do consultants on anything that you want, whether you want to start an NGO or you want to start a social enterprise. You're already running it, but you need some professional support like capacity building and so forth. So basically those are the services that we offer.
Okay. You have chosen to specifically handle the social enterprise market. We
Yes.
want to understand why. Are there any key challenges that you have looked out for as Astute Strategists and said, this is why we are offering these products to the social enterprises?
Yes, definitely. Uganda as a country, it is still very poor and it lacks clear policies on social enterprises. A country like Uganda, where a whole community expects a US embassy to fund a toilet for the entire community. Yet
you mean toilet construction?
Yes, remember, I can give an example. When you go to eastern Uganda, you find that the whole village does not have a communal toilet. And within that village, there are people who went to school, did social work, did development studies, graduated in different fields. And in the same community, there are people in Kampala who have a lot of money, but they can't mobilize themselves to construct a latrine. They want the US Embassy to come and fund them. With that type of mindset, it shows that clearly there is a need for social entrepreneurs to come and solve that problem. But the government also lacks a pragmatic or a stronger policy to encourage social entrepreneurs to come up, because the sector, to me or to us, has been marginalized. And many social entrepreneurs lack the support they need in order to thrive. Remember, these people are solving all the problems. They are offering solutions to challenges that are affecting society, communities, individuals. Like you just say, they're employing many people. But other than employing the people, these are businesses that have impact on society, on the environment. You know about climate change. This is a very big challenge that is facing humanity today. These social entrepreneurs who are offering solutions to the changing climate. We have a lot of diseases, pandemics. Social entrepreneurs are the people who are risking whatever they have to ensure that society lives a better, healthy life. Yes.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are out there and you're watching this YouTube channel and you run a social enterprise, you have had the key role that you play in society. Now is the time to rethink your work frames, your strategies of operation. And guess what? The answer is right here in studio with us, Mr. Timothy Mugerwa, consultant right here at Astute Strategists. This particular conversation, of course, does still continue. However, if you have a question out there, feel free to drop it right down there in the comment section on this particular YouTube platform, and we shall be reading it out. And we shall also be making follow-ups on whether, the answers that you got are satisfactory enough. But also do remember that this particular conversation stretches way over to other social media platforms, Astute Strategists. And of course, we are very much present on Twitter, very much present on Instagram, very much present on LinkedIn, very much present on Facebook as well. Keep those comments coming, keep that feedback coming, because guess what? At the end of the day, you never know. You could be working, or you could actually land yourself a job in a social enterprise. And this could be, some of the information that you'll be channeling out. I don't know, it could earn you a promotion or anything along those lines. Mr. Mugerwa, you have told us what Astute Strategists do, and you have also told us why you picked interest in serving social enterprises. Now let's get to some of the products that you offer in a more detailed manner. What are some of the products that you offer to begin off with the civil society space?
Yeah, before I go into the products, I would like to first educate our people about the different types of, the difference between CSOs, NGOs, social enterprises, and so on. Many people out there having social enterprises without knowing they're actually social enterprises.
Okay.
Yes. So, and to give an example of some of the social enterprises, like if you have a company that is in recycling, for instance, that company is a social enterprise, because as much as it's making a profit, it's solving a problem, an environmental problem. Whenever it floods in Kampala, we all know what happens.
It's a menace.
It's a menace, and it's as a result of the water bottles that clog in the drainage channels. So if there is a company doing recycling, it means it's going to prevent that problem. Sure. That's one of the examples of social enterprises. And then CSOs, these are civil society organizations. It's a new term, but it has been there for so many years without people realizing. Basically, these are daily local groups that come with any interest groups. For instance, women groups. Those are CSOs. Faith-based organizations, those are CSOs, because they have a particular interest.
Okay.
they are addressing. And then NGOs, it's a group of professionals or people who come together to solve a particular problem. So basically, this is a difference. And again, if you want to be a social entrepreneur, you need to understand where to start from and which steps to take so that you don't get ahead of yourself. Okay. But we also have what we call CBOs. These are community-based organizations. They address community problems at the district level or sub-county level. Okay. So they also need to understand which type of registration they need to make in order to formalize their work. Okay. Now to come into the products that we offer, and the first one is the NGO and the social enterprise consultants. Okay. Yes. So that product aims at changing the face, the way business is done, how NGOs are run. You know, everything has changed. Even NGO, the face should also change. Mm-hmm. We are living in a very competitive world and whereby everything has been professionalized. NGOs have challenges that after COVID-19, we had a lot of budget cuts. Funding was cut. It's very limited. Yet you are expected to run the organization professionally. What does that mean? It means you need professionals. You need to hire professionals to run your organization, to run your social enterprise. And when I talk of professional, that means you need human capacity, organizational capacity, and also infrastructure capacity. Mm-hmm. And with all that, with the budget cuts, you can't employ all those people. True. This is why Astute came in. What do? Instead, we help you do the work. That would have been done, for instance, by 5 or 7 full-time employees. Wow. That's very expensive because if you employ 5 full-time employees, you are supposed to pay tax. Sure. You are supposed to pay NSSF. Mm-hmm. You are supposed to incur a lot of money. And yes, the results you're getting probably are not at the same level you're supposed to get. Or quality. The same quality. Mm-hmm. And the effectiveness of your work may not be visible out there. Okay. So basically, we can make a simple math. For instance, if you get average workers of 500 per month, 5 of them, that means 2.5 a month. Sure. And by the end of the year, that's about over 25 M. Sure. After a year. But remember, people you are paying 500,000, those are very. No, I don't want to use the word novice, but those are people who are still new into the field. You can't give you the best. But what we do as instead of paying the 25 to juniors, come to us as experts. And we do the same work in a shorter period of time. So we have a team of professionals, highly experienced in different fields, who get into your project, into an organization, and turn it into a very serious, attractive organization so that you attract serious partners. And of course, donors. Donors want serious staff. Serious organizations that have the capacity to account, to run projects, to manage them, write reports, and so on.
So, Mr. Mugera, before you move on to the next product that Astute Strategists do offer,
yes.
What I gather from your submission is that you have professionals that can do work over multitude of employees, but yet cutting back on the cost. In other words, what you would have paid 5 people, you could probably pay 3/4 of that to a professional and they get the job done.
Yes.
All right.
Actually, you can even pay half of that.
Wow.
Yes, and you get returns on what you paid. Results are guaranteed.
After all, it's a professional handling.
Yes, you minimize the cost, yet you are having experts doing the job. Okay. Yes.
What are some of maybe for someone out there that is watching the channel right now, what are some of those, say for example, jobs that need highly professional people that, Astute Strategists maybe has worked on in the past or is currently pursuing or pushing through?
Yes, before we even go into the jobs, I need to also address this. Many social entrepreneurs or people who start organizations, they only look at objectives, vision, mission, and then running for money. Looking for money without considering the sustainability of the organization. So one of the things we help for these people, like in our ones of consultation, is to develop a sustainability roadmap. How do you sustain an organization beyond that funding you are going to get in a year? Remember, this organization has to outlive you. You are solving a problem and you're not doing it for yourself. Yes, and the funding is not constant. Like I just said, during the COVID-19, funding was cut.
True.
So, do you know how many organizations closed down? There are so many. People lost their jobs. We don't want to be a victim of that. We need to create a sustainability plan and help you build a vision that can outlive you. Yes. So now to go into some of the services or some of the jobs within the NGOs that require
or some areas which actually require expertise.
Like the gist or the cornerstone or the baseline of any NGO or social enterprise is funding. All social entrepreneurs, NGO founders need funding.
Yes.
That's what everybody's looking for. You need an expert to write you a winning proposal.
That's the elephant in the room.
A winning proposal. That's a grant writing. Some call it grant writing. So you need an expert who is very good in fundraising to develop a fundraising work plan or develop a strategy that will attract your serious people. So that's one of the areas where you need the experts like us to do the work. Write you a winning proposal. Secondly, it comes to strategic planning. Like I just said, you don't just run an organization like
don't wake up and run an organization.
No. It is a serious business, professional. It's very, very professional. People go to the university, spend 3 years or 4 years studying NGO management. For you wake up in your bed, you want to start an organization and compete with established NGOs, which is why many organizations are out there in villages or districts. They have not received the funding from even a blind person, simply because and another challenge is there are many Bambi organizations, elderly women, who are caring for orphans in the rural areas, doing very good work, but they don't get funding. And in Kampala, there are people who are not on the ground, but skilled to write proposals, skilled to account, to manage projects. They write proposals and get them money. So that's the difference. So basically, we need to professionalize this and ensure that we have the right people, we have the right team to do the work.
True.
So strategic planning is very important. You must set priorities, targets. In the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, where do you want to see the organization? Where do you want to see the social enterprise you've started? That's another area. Then monitoring and evaluation. Donors.
It's a highly specialized area.
Yes, donors require you to evaluate, to monitor your work, internally and externally. Internally, you develop your internal capacity to monitor and evaluate your work. But then, some people are a bit smart like this nowadays. They can twist the figures, which is why external evaluators need to come in. So that's another area that you need. But also, another area is capacity building. Capacity building. Many people don't know what to do when it comes to running NGOs or social enterprises. They don't know. So, which is why we offer training to people who founded or who are managing organizations to ensure that they get the skills that are required in this 21st century. Some of the things are outdated, by the way. Things are changing. They always introduce new terms, new packages, new reporting tools, new monitoring tools. So some of us who are in research are always updated. Yes, we always acquaint ourselves with the latest technology. So we also need to bring this to you. If you're down there in Kabera Maido, you are in Hoima, you're somewhere, you only have access to news and the other stuff. We are always scratching our heads, working to ensure that we are always up to standard, to ensure that you run the best CSO or social enterprise.
I swear, Mr. Mugera, this is a very, very challenging and eye-opening conversation. I cannot imagine many of the NGOs we have walked into, many of the CSOs that we walked into, and have multitudes of people. Actually, they cannot still get the work done. The bureaucracy, one, that is involved. I can imagine if, say, we had a professional handling all of this, how much money would CSOs, NGOs be saving at the end of the day? The fact that we are worried, and just like Mr. Mugera has, articulated it, that once COVID hit, budget cuts became budget cuts right from the United Nations. You cannot imagine. We've been moving around embassies, British High Commission. We've moved around the U.S. Embassy. We have moved on. Every funding partner right now tells you that we are short on budget. We do not have those funds. So this is an opportunity for an NGO right out there, for a for a CSO out there to come and seek for these services, you know. But you can also visit, you know, the website. I know for sure it will be running down right here on your screen. The numbers to contact, you know, to contact Astute Strategists will definitely also be running on the screen. But also do not forget that we are stretching this conversation far up to our social media platforms. Astute Strategists all the way. Drop your comments. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to follow. And don't forget to subscribe to this particular YouTube channel.